Here we go. All right, guys, we're going to start with compound schedules of reinforcement. I know that this seems really hard and really annoying. It is, but it's also easier than it looks. There is 7 kinds, right? There are 7 types of compound schedules of reinforcement. But the good thing is you basically only have to memorize 3. And you don't even have to memorize them. You can have there's some really cool tricks. So ABA helped me out with this with a lot of tricks, but I also learned a couple of these beforehand. So there's 7 of them, right? 7 schedules, 7 compound schedules. I'm wearing my SNAPA sweater today. I'm a SNAPA alum. I do believe in it. I think they're a great group, and it's a really great resource. So there's 7 compound schedules. Wow, I can type. The first one, they come in pairs except for the first one. And the first one is concurrent. And that's one we'll go over first. This is the only one that is not going to be in pairs. Everything else is going to be in T-charts for you. But concurrent is all by itself. But it's all by itself because we use it so much. You guys are using it today here. You can be here and study, and your reinforcement is knowledge or relief from boredom or whatever reason you're here. Or you could be at your house doing whatever the hell else you want. I could be doing the same thing. I'm here teaching you because I get to keep working on my knowledge for you guys. Or I could go be watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, I just finished it, but I could be watching it again. That is a concurrent schedule of reinforcement. So this is in chapter 13 of Cooper, and concurrent schedules on page 316 of Cooper. And it says when 2 or more contingencies, 2 plus contingencies of reinforcement, right? 2 or plus contingencies of reinforcement. They operate independently and simultaneously. So I could be here helping you guys out because I like to, or I could be out there and I could be, making myself another smoothie. They're simultaneous. They could be happening at the same time, but they're independent of each other. And it's for 2 or more behaviors. So, right, I'm teaching. This is one behavior. I'm making lunch. Another behavior. I could be doing either. It really just depends on, excuse me, on my reinforcement. So the big thing with this one that you have to think about is matching law. So matching law is behavior flows, behavior goes or reinforcement flows or whatever. That never got it to me what it was like. All right, teaching you guys is reinforcement to me. It has a pretty high level of reinforcement. I really like to teach. I think I want the next generation of BCBAs to be baller at their job. So that, I reinforce myself that 80% of the time because every once in a while I'm lazy. And so when I teach 80% of the time, I, feel better or whatever's reinforcing to me, right? And watching TV is reinforcing 20% of the time. So 20% of the time I'm going to watch TV and 80% of the time I'm going to teach. That's matching law. They match reinforcement. So if I have 80% of my time I reinforce myself teaching, 80% of the time I'm going to choose teaching over watching TV. That's how it works. That's all matching law is. Think of it, for me, I was thinking of it percentages. It doesn't have to be a percentage. It could be, I reinforce them 10 times or I reinforce them twice. But that's a really big one. Where are you going to get the most reinforcement? You're more likely to do that, right? You're more likely to do the thing that you get reinforced 80% of the time at. So that's a big one. The one thing about concurrent is this, in that's mostly different from the rest of them, is we get to choose. It's the power of choice right here. I'm choosing to come teach versus watching TV. You're doing it right now. You can be here and you get the knowledge, or you can be doing anything. You're getting some sort of reinforcement from being here, and that is concurrent. It's the most natural one. It's the common one. We do it constantly. You do it constantly in your practices if you are practicing with kiddos all the time. You can choose to come sit down, or you can sit over there all by yourself and do nothing. Extinction, right? It's exactly that. That is concurrent. It's the most simple. It's all by itself. It's the only one that's not in a pair. The other three, or there's 6, are in pairs. So that's the only way for me that I graph them, is I put them in pairs. And so when I wrote them on my whiteboard on my test, I put concurrent, and then I put the 3 pairs, and I put them in a specific order, and you'll see it coming up. So the next one I'm gonna skip. No, I'm gonna start with the hardest 2 first. A lot of people skip to the easier ones, but I'm gonna go to the hardest 2 because I want to get them out of the way, and then you guys have more fun at the end. So the next are the hardest 2 for me. They're still gonna be the hardest for you. And if you get them, please feel free to step in. They're multiple. Wow, multiple and mixed. What makes it even harder is they both start with M, but that makes it easier for you to remember that this is a pair. The M's are a pair. I don't have any funny acronym for you for them. The M's are a pair. If you put them in reverse alphabetical order, multiple, mixed, you know that multiple has an SD and mixed has no SD. This is how I do it with my, lovely T-chart. On my whiteboard, I had concurrent, I had multiple mixed, I had chain tandem, I had wow, why can't I remember the word right now? Alternative conjunctive. Ooh, I was putting this together. And SD was on the left, no SD was on the right, and that's how it helped me remember. So both of these, I'm gonna delete that line, because a lot of these are the only difference. This is the only difference between the 2 of them. Only difference. One has an SD, signaling that reinforcement is available, and one doesn't have an SD. So we don't know if or when reinforcement is going to be available, but we're on a schedule. So it will be probably, we just don't know when. So multiple and mixed schedules are 2 more schedules, right? They're alternating. So it has to be an interval and a ratio schedule. Those are the 2. Alternating and usually random. They're random. I've never seen one that isn't random except for in like a really insane clinical design, like experimental design thing. It's going to be random. All of the mocks I took, random. They run successively. So they're different than concurrent that runs simultaneously, but they're also independently. They're also independent. So they're successively. So they go one after another. They're not going to be at the same time, and they're for the same behavior. The same DX. Same thing. So it's for one behavior. So, example that I came up with this one was push-ups. Push-ups, right? At home, this is for multiple. Multiple means that there's an SD. So there is signal of reinforcement. So you're going to reinforce yourself and you know when it's coming. So at FR10, so a fixed rate of 10 minutes, or a fixed rate of 10 push-ups, right? 10 push-ups, sorry. You give yourself a break. That's reinforcement. That's at home. But at the gym, when you go and see, your trainer, you're on a variable ratio, or of 5, because he has you doing them in perfect form and really, really, really slow, whereas at home, I go a little bit faster. So that's by your trainer, and then you get reinforcement of a break for 30 seconds. It's the same thing. It's push-ups, but we're on a fixed ratio of 10. At the gym, we're on a variation of 10. Sometimes it's to 5, or it's variation of 5. Sometimes he does it 5. Sometimes he does it 2, because he made you do like the crazy diamond ones. Sometimes he made you do the wide out ones. You only have to do like a half a one, So that is the multiple. The mixed is the same thing, except for we don't, it's this, but we have no idea when reinforcement's coming. We don't know. Like we're on an FR10 and we're on a VR5, maybe. but we have no idea. There's no incentive. We don't know when the gym time is going to end. We don't know when we're going to get reinforced. There's no workout of the day up on your screen. You don't have any timers to tell you it's been 5 minutes. You're not counting your push-ups. That's the only difference. This one is crazy. There's another one that's also crazy. We just don't know. And that's the easiest way to remember it. You're gonna see multiple a lot. There's an SD, and that's the big deal. So you see this thing and you're like, oh man, there's 2 more schedules, they're alternating random, they're successively in the same behavior. Which one is it, right? And so those mocks are gonna be like, blah, blah, blah. Which one is this? If it said that they know that they're gonna get this after this, that's an SD. SD is a signal for reinforcement. So they know what's happening, therefore they're gonna get the reward, therefore it's multiple. If they said blah, 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 and they're on the blah, blah, blah schedule, and blah, 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 all of this stuff, and we don't know what they're gonna get, and how they're gonna get it, and what schedule they're on, it's mixed. We have no idea, as long as it's the same behavior, successively, independently, alternating. This will make a little more sense as we keep going on. I'm writing them out like that. See, with the 2, how many you know, like 2 schedules, how many behaviors, because this one is important because it's the same behavior. Concurrent was different behaviors. We're going to go on to the next one. Mixed is mixed up, and it is crazy.
Billy, when you get a chance, will you please look at your chat if you can?
Yeah, ma'am. I don't know how I can look at the chats while I'm on the screen sharing, though. I see you guys. If you want to pull a question from the chat, feel free to just yell it out at me. Oh, chat. There we go. Hi, I got you. The link for this, I can post the link. I have to find it. The numbers are probably the easiest way, Bria, to get in, just because sometimes the links work.
I think that there are a ton of people on your Facebook post who's not able to get in.
Oh,
that's just why I was saying
so let me stop sharing my screen real quick, and I'm going to post this.
Yeah, Billy, what it is we were thinking it was an O, and it's supposed to be a 0. It's the password that blocked us out.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I tried to turn that off. I don't know how to. Thank you, guys. This is good to know, though. All right, here's the copy URL. If someone will be so kind to share that for me, I think that'll get them in without having issues. I'm really sorry I didn't realize it was 0. I will be clear on that in the future.
That's okay. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you. If you can share that for me, I would love you forever.
No problem.
Okay. So next is going to be chained and tandem. We'll do another lovely, well, I'm not going to do a full cheat chart, but chained and tandem. I'm keeping these on the same sides, guys. And that's how my brain works. Put things on one side, put things on the other. The only difference between these two, again, is there an SD or is there no SD? That's the only difference. And chained, think chaining. Think chaining behavior. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just chaining behavior. It's 2 or more schedules. They occur successively. And order matters. Literally, that's it. It's one behavior. One behavior. With 2 or more schedules that occur successively and order matters. So think of this as a recipe for banana bread. We have like red bananas at my house, so this is how I was thinking when I wrote this one. Think of a recipe for banana bread, right? With a chained one, we know we have the recipe. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you put it in the oven. So you mix dry, mix wet, together, pan, oven, right? We know this one comes after this because we have a recipe. We have an SD, the recipe. Sorry, my handwriting is terrible. That tells us what to do next. The order matters because you don't want to mix the wet and the dry or else you get all clumpy. You don't want to put the dry in the pan and then the mix because then you can't, you know, and you don't want to put anything in the oven before it's all put together. The order matters. With a tandem, the only difference is I don't have the recipe. I have all the ingredients. I have dry ingredients. I have wet ingredients. I have bananas. I don't even know how hot the oven's supposed to be. I have no recipe. So I only get reinforcement, my banana bread, if I put them all in the right order in the recipe, I put them together in the right order, and it gets in the oven at the right temperature. But I don't know. Again, like mixed, this one's crazy. Don't use it in the field very often. It's bonkers to do. Like, why would you not? We have to do it in the right order. It would be like me saying, okay, guys, you got to come here. Like, I'm going to do a schedule of I'm going to do a Zoom chat on concurrent schedules of reinforcement. But I expect you guys, and I don't tell you this, but I expect you guys to get on, put your name in the chat, say all of these things about each other, do some cool stuff, and then, you know, touch your nose on video where I can see you before I start my Zoom chat with you. And I don't tell you the order. I don't tell you whatever. It's crazy. We don't do this. I'm sure we do. I've never seen it. The chain, though, has the SD. It has the recipe. We know it's supposed to happen in this order, and it's supposed to get done. Oh, there's more people in the chat. I pop down now. I don't know where that went. All right, guys. I don't know how to get up there. Oh, there it is. Chat. Where did the chat go? Alt H. Oh, there we go. Yes, I did share the link in. Oh, I only shared it to Bria. All right. Oh my goodness, guys. There is the link. She private messaged me. You know how it makes you automatically private message? I'm terrible. All right. So those are the difference between chained and tandem. Keeping SD on the right or on the left. No SD on the right. That's the way I remembered it. Reverse order, correct order. I don't know. Chained is more of the common word that we use for behavior, right? So chained has an SD. That's an, you gotta, sometimes these are ones you just gotta memorize. That's how my boss told me. Sometimes there's just things you have to memorize, but the way I memorize them, I just kept writing them down. I wrote them down 100 times. I wrote them down in the right order. I just wrote the names, SD or no SD, SD, no or SD for those 4, because those are the only 4 that those matter. These next 2 are my favorite 2. I don't know why. I really like them. I use them a lot, but I really, really like them. So the next 2, all alternative. Wow, and my spelling can't get any worse. And conjunctive. So these don't have any of those little flummy little bullet points that I did earlier. They don't have any SD. Well, I'm sure they have SDs, but it doesn't really matter to help you guys memorize it. Alternative is you get reinforcement either when a ratio requirement is met or an interval requirement is met. Either or. Super simple way to remember alternative. Either or. So an example of this is you can get your post-running beer. That's how I reinforced myself when I trained for a marathon. Don't do it, it's miserable. But reinforcement is beer for me, and it probably always be examples. I can get a beer either after I run 10 miles. So fixed ratio 10, right? Number of miles. Or I run for 2 hours. Fixed interval. 10 hours. Miles. So either or. We do this with our kiddos and the offices. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, everyone, for sharing, and I appreciate you. All the time. You can either, sit down at the table and do this work, or we can do 10 jumping jacks kind of thing. We give them that all the time. They're going to get the reinforcement either way. They're going to get social praise or, their token or any of those things. But we said, oops, that's not what I want. We set it up for them so that they're ready for it. We do this all the times with ourselves. So the difference now between alternative, you've not seen that all the whole time, and conjunctive is you get reinforcement when both an interval and ratio schedule have been met. Both. So we'll go back to the running example. Oops. Go back to the running example, right? So now you're training for a marathon, right? This is just running for fun over here. No, it's not really running for fun, but well, maybe it is for you. Not for me anymore. It used to be. But we're training for a marathon, right? Training for a marathon. And you have a coach. And you're kind of at this plateau, and he doesn't want to train you anymore because you're not getting past this 10 miles in under 2 hours, which is, you can do it for some reason. So he says, I'm going to stop training you. I'm going to stop giving you reinforcement, that socially mediated reinforcement of training you, until you can run 10 miles under 2 hours. So you have to meet both this 10 miles, fixed ratio 10, and a fixed interval of 2 hours. You have to meet them both and then reinforcement. Or you can tell that to yourself while you're running. All right, I'm not going to go out with my friends in the evening. Instead, I'm going to go on a run every day until I can get 10 miles in under 2 hours. You can do it. It's pretty easy. So that is the difference between alternative and conjunctive, either or both. I know they're confusing, but just put them in your little, so how I did them on my whiteboard, help me remember. Wow, what is going on? There we go, concurrent. I can go back to any pages you need me to. I just wrote concurrent, and then I did multiple, mixed, chained, tandem, alternative, conjunctive. That's all I did. And I did this, and then I knew these were SDs, and these were no SDs. And then you just figured out how you did. I wrote choice here because I knew how to do that. This was order matters. This was either or. This was both. And I think that one was just, for me, mixed in multiple of the craziest ones. They're the hardest ones for me. You guys have any tips or tricks? Wow, there we go. That would be great. I would love for you to share. Oh, I wrote these ones had to be successive. That was the thing. That was the main thing for these. But the SD versus the no SD is probably the easiest way when you're looking at a question that I've seen in the mocks about what is the compound schedule, or which compound schedule they're using here. But if you put them all in your little table like this and concurrent at the top, because it's the king, it's the one we use all the time, and then you give yourself those little squares to put the rest of them in so you know, You got it. This is all Cooper chapter 13. Concurrent is on page 316. Multiple and mixed is on 319. Chained and tandem, I guess I didn't write those down, but they're probably 319 and 320, knowing me. Oh, I have the book open. Why don't I just look? Yeah, alternative is 320. And mixed is 319. Huh, I was right. Cooper is life. I understand these, he does not explain them very well in the book. He does not. But hopefully I helped a little bit, and I helped you guys. If you have any questions, I've got about 10 minutes before Zoom kicks me off. Yes, Mirlanda? How do you say your name? That's an awesome. Mirlanda?
It's Milan.
Mioland?
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yes, this is being recorded and it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, which is at Think ABA for free. It'll also be, once it's uploaded there, it will be uploaded to the Facebook, which is Think ABA at Facebook. Oops. I think ABA FB. I think that's it. And then I will definitely try to upload it to the ABA study notes page and my Instagram, which is Think ABA, just the Insta as well. I don't think I can upload it, but I can share the thing, so you guys can do that. I don't really have any practice questions, just because I haven't really come up with any of them for this. I am going to do one of my next Zooms is going to be on question dissection. So look at my Facebook page, look at Think ABA and see where I can be on there, and I'm going to ask you guys for questions. Please don't take them from like other mocks and things like that. Let's think of them together. Don't send me the answers. What I'm going to do is haul them all up on notebook and just draw on them and see if I can get out the answer for you and show you how I would do that. And then anyone that would like to take a turn at doing that and explaining, I would love that. But I think question dissection is really, really hard, especially for those big, long-winded questions. Like, where do I start? They hurt your brain. You want to cry just looking at them. Yes, Marlene, this Zoom is recorded and it will be shared. I just said that it's going to be on the Facebook page, the Study Notes ABA, and my Facebook, Think ABA, is also Facebook as well. Some of those questions are real hard, especially for these ones, but I promise you, this little table right here gave me life and was the thing that saved me from crying. I cried at the end of the SNABA Collective, and during the SNABA Collective when they taught this, I literally cried. So you can do it. Just get a piece of paper out, write. This is what I did studying for you guys today. I have 2 pages of notes on it just for you guys today. Go through the book. It's only like 4 pages in Cooper, and just sit there and soak it in and come up with examples. Soak it in, come up with examples. I'm sure online you can type in examples of concurrent schedules, especially Scicore. They have some really great YouTube videos, and be like, oh, how did that work? I'm sorry my table's ugly, but I hope it helps. All right, guys, any more questions before I sign off? You're welcome, and I will post this as soon as it's ready. I hope you guys have a great Sunday, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you, Billy.
You're welcome. There we go.